Right, hello, it's Plant Life Forever 69 and today I'm going to give you a little update on my carnivorous plants. Of course, it's now June and that means that they're out of their dormancy period and basically in their summer period, and unfortunately they haven't really been doing very well. I'm kind of losing my voice a little bit as well, so excuse me if I sound like a man, but yeah, I'll jump into the video and I'll talk a lot as usual. So first off, let's start with Vlad. Here he is. He's got his springtime traps. They're sticking up in the air, but we've also got the more summer-like kind of wide leaves, which is nice. He's doing a lot better than he has been recently. They basically nearly died in the fridge because it got too cold. He's basically regenerating himself like a Time Lord or something. The traps are pretty small compared to what he was like. He'll get there. He's getting bigger traps now anyway. The next one I wanted to show you is Mini Vlad. He's dripping everywhere. Pretty much the same case with him. He's still getting very small traps, but hopefully eventually he'll perk up again and get a little bit bigger. This is the Ceph. I did actually find some mealybugs on this a while ago, but we've got some new growth. If my camera will focus, yeah, some new growth there in the top. Those tiny little babies. I don't think we've got any, oh no, here we go. There's a nice picture forming. But yeah, at the moment, as we're just coming into all the nice hot weather, it should start to pick up again fairly soon. Pretty much the case for all of my plants at the moment. Unfortunately, the DCXL is no longer with us. It got too cold in the fridge, and apparently if they're potted in soil and the soil like freezes, they really don't like it and they die. Let's have a moment of silence for the DCXL. They're one of the biggest cultivars you can get of Venus flytraps, so it should be at least that size. This is a Pinguicula Tina. It's a butterwort. It's very cute. I don't know, it's kind of like a sticky green little flower rosette. I just think it's really adorable. And my cousin's called Tina, which is why I got this. Very cute. I just wanted to show you something nice after I just tell you that I've killed a plant. So next on the list are my Nepenthes ventrata, which I've not got any more massive pictures on at the moment, but there's a couple of quite nice ones. I did notice that as it gets longer and longer, I wasn't getting any of the curly pictures, the upper ones, to picture. They weren't developing. I think I'm starting to get some upper ones developing now. If you can see this one here. Basically, I needed to provide it with more light, so what I did was I moved this bar in the window down so that more sun reaches the top leaves, and also now my grow lights can reach it, so I've just directed one of the grow lights up there. This little ventrata, there's one of its pictures. It's doing quite well. So yeah, as you can see, dormancy didn't really go that well for me again this year, but that's fine. We just won't make the same mistakes again. So basically what happened, the fridge, the little beauty fridge that I have, that I was keeping them in, froze over at the back, and it kept freezing over at the back. So it just meant that it was too cold of an environment for them. So they started to die, but thankfully not all of them did. We still got Vlad and Mini Vlad out of there alive, and they're recovering quite well. So hopefully the next video that I upload will be more cheerful. Yeah, less bad news, but in order to counteract the bad, I thought I would also give you a little show of some of the other plants that I have in my room. I've got a big plant shelf behind me where I've basically got some more grow lights so that I can put more plants in my room, and I'm really loving the space at the moment and just being surrounded by all of my gorgeous plants. So I just wanted to share those with you as well. This is an Anthurium scherzerianum. I can never pronounce the names, but yeah, an Anthurium scherzerianum. One of the more forgiving anthuriums. Absolutely gorgeous. I love the flowers. They look kind of like dinosaur plants to me. I don't know. I love them. Excuse my Starbucks cup there. This guy here, this is a Ficus benjamina. I did actually want to put it into a terrarium that I made the other day, but it doesn't actually fit in there. It's quite tall, so I'm just gonna have it out of there. I think it's really pretty. It's also called a weeping fig. Hopefully it grows quite quickly. It's got some new leaves coming. This is the terrarium that I made a couple of days ago. It's just got some Fittonia, and I'm not sure what this thing is, but it's pretty. If I open the lid so you can see inside. Fittonia really likes it in there. It looks so much better than when I bought it from the shop. This is like an old jar that I got. It was filled with popcorn before, and I just kind of cleaned it up. And I thought, well, it's a ginormous jar, I may as well use it for something, so potted a terrarium in it. This isn't the only terrarium I made either. I got a bit obsessed with making them, but this is the only closed one that I made. I've got a giant philodendron Brazil. Kind of needs some trimming, but she's called Phyllis. She's had many children and she's still absolutely massive. Loves her spot hanging in the window. This is a northeast facing window, by the way, and the other window we were just in is southeast. This is a little mini orchid that's at the end of its bloom cycle, so I'm going to kind of trim it somewhere to make it bloom again. ILYA glauca, which was in my last plant video, looks pretty much the same. I've taken some cuttings of it, but it's looking really nice. Again, it loves its spot in the window here. This is my Begonia maculata whitei, which I recently found out I'd been like chronically underwatering it, so it looks a lot better now than it had been. This is where I took some propagations. You can see the leaf nodes are coming back. I think this probably needs some water, but this is Tradescantia tricolor. Need to take off some crispy bits, give it some water. On this little table I've got my maidenhair fern. It seems very happy there. It's got lots of new growth. Coming in at the top, variegated umbrella tree, which is really pretty, and another one of my favourites, some Monstera adansonii, which again is very pretty and needs a drink. Then over here I've got quite a lot of plants on this one shelf. My nice big Monstera that's putting out a new leaf. That particular leaf isn't fenestrated, which is fine. The next one probably will be. This is a cutting that I took of it that isn't rooted yet, I don't think. This is another terrarium that I made. It's got some aglaonema in there and some pink syngonium. Some more cuttings. I've got some Fatsia japonica, philodendron Brazil, Begonia whitei, and some ILYA glauca cuttings. This is a Calathea. What kind? Calathea macoiana. Yeah, Calathea quite likes it there. That's right next to some Monstera minima. It's putting out a new leaf there. Variegated spider plant. I don't know if you can see the variegation, the white variegation on the edges. Skinned apsis, pictus. Gorgeous. That's one of my favourites. Another calathea down here. A fern that's dying. Another calathea up here that I don't know why it's like randomly started growing loads of new leaves. This is ginseng. So the idea is that I'll eventually start training it, but it's actually grown loads since I got it. There's new leaves. A string of turtles, which is flowering right now. That's what those little spiky green things are. Very cute. Behind the skinned apsis, I've got some cuttings from the umbrella tree and this variegated white jewel Dracaena. Very pretty. Well, that's everything for today's video. I want to thank you for watching, and I hope you have a lovely day. Okay, thanks. Goodbye.